All right, guys, kind of a weird video today. Your relationship with your banker is kind of a critical one because without him, you're probably not moving into next year. Maybe you are. But conversation with a banker at a banquet the other night, at a dinner banquet, little tiny get together, and he had said that farmers need to start to get their crap together because they're not gonna really have a whole lot of help. They're not there to do your accounting for you. They're not there to do all your paperwork for you. They are there to look through all your paperwork to see if they can help finance you for the next year. Got another phone call from another banker just working on business stuff, and then that conversation turned into, well, what are you seeing or what do you wish was different when farmers come in to request money? And that banker had the same story as the other banker of the days of just walking in and a handshake are long gone. In our area, it's a very tight economy for the ag, a lot of money being lost, and the banks are being extremely cautious and careful on how they borrow money, so they're not hung out to dry. So the big thing they both said, be prepared. You gotta know your stuff, guys. Plain and simple. The bank is not your enemy. If a good relationship with your banker is what's going to get you through the next 40 years, so you gotta be honest and go with that. If it's a guy you've been with for a lot of years or it's a new bank, doesn't matter. You gotta have your ducks in a row. And what both bankers had requested was that before, when you call in or you make an appointment, don't just walk in like, oh, I'd like to see Bob today. Make an appointment. And when you come into the appointment, have your taxes already e-filed over. Have your accountant already send several years over. So the banker can see that, okay, your appointment's coming up. He can kind of flip through a little bit, or at least they're there for him. So when you come in, he can kind of scroll through them while you're there, whatever. But it's there. Have a good balance sheet. Work with your accountant, work with your farm business manager, work with your mom. I don't care. That's up to you. However, you need to do a quality balance sheet. What are your assets and liabilities? What do you own? What do you owe? Every nickel or every loan payment, credit card, mortgage, any payment that you are making monthly, annually, whatever, goes on one side, and everything that you are making them payments on and things that you own free and clear are on this column. What you owe, what you have paid down is the equity for each item, and hopefully at the bottom you're to a positive. In the last couple years, it's not very hard to be to a negative on balance sheets because for many years farmers overinflated to themselves the value of their land and their equipment and all this and that. And now nowadays banks have a lot of available information to them as far as equipment prices and land evaluations and stuff like that to bring you down to reality. So don't overinflate stuff. Try and be as accurate as you can of what you think market value for that stuff is. And explain on the balance sheet, hey, we just bought these 4 things. Yep, we're a little upside down, but, he can also then, with the balance sheet, look back at the taxes. And so they're there to work with you. They're there to work with you. Year-to-date income or a profit and loss statement. That it says what it is. Bring that in. They need that information. A good quality projection. And your crop insurance or your cattle, whatever, your production history for as many years as you can to help back up your data in your projection. Your taxes and your balance sheet and your income will also help the bank create to work with you on your quality projection. A year-to-date income or profit. That to help do a good quality projection, you can do that on your own. You have your checkbook. You know your acres. You know bushels produced of each crop for each number of acres. You know dollars sold of each crop over each number of acres. You know expenses over the number of acres. You spent X amount on fuel, this many acres, that gives you a per acre fuel cost. You had this much in repairs over this many acres, that gives you a per acre repair cost. Otherwise, they're just going to insert their average numbers. So do a good quality projection, and the better that is, the better they'll help you. If you use a 10-year APH and your projection comes in a little weak, maybe drop to a 5 or a 3-year. But don't lie to them, because you're only lying to yourself. Plain and simple. You got to be honest. If you're losing money, be honest with yourself, because now's the time to make them changes. If you're willing to make some changes, I bet the bank would still be willing to work with you. My history says they are. There's been meetings in the bank that even coming in prepared, they're just like, yeah, not happening, son. So you had to get creative, and you had to be willing to show that, hey, I can fix it. You know, one more year, I guarantee I can fix these numbers and come in where you want me to. And if they're nice enough, they give you that 1 year, and you do it, and it works, and now you keep moving forward. And then the be prepared. So when you come in like this, they're going to work with you. When you come in with a scratch pad and well, here's what I want, let me know when it's done, they're kind of not really going to work with you anymore. And so, guys, let me know down below how you guys get prepared for bank season, for funding the next year's crop. How good are your local banks to work with, or whatever banking entity you're working with? Are they pretty good to work with, pretty forgiving? Are they kind of handshake people, or are they by the book? And so what's your experience of trying to get funding for the next year? This isn't that deep of a conversation. It's just kind of a video I threw together just because of hearing the conversations of the banks. Apparently there's more people out there than we think that aren't quite prepared. And so comments below. Thanks for watching.